Greetings. Now, topic of today, in this video, I want to talk about God, I want to talk about humans, I want to talk about words, I want to talk about numbers, and I'm going to talk about names, and a bit about 5G. It's all connected, a whole lot, all joined up together, plus a lot more. A lot more than you realise. You know, there's two things that, two things I've come to the conclusion on. Firstly, God. And secondly, everything you can think of, everything you come into contact with every day of your life, every minute of every day of your life, everything you come into contact with is a complete lie. Everything is inside out and upside down. Everything you've been told about who you are, what you are, where you've come from, and where you're going is also a complete lie. It's just seeing it. The big thing is just to see it. Now, I can tell you something about myself, and it's going to depend how you hear it, it's depend how you interpret what I've just said. So if I tell you I've just gone totally insane, how are you going to read that? Does that mean I've gone mad? Or does it mean something else? I'll give you another example of this with the words. Do you present your presence in the present? Are you a present? Now that's the same word, and that's 4 different ways of saying that word in 4 different contexts. Another word there, a context. Yeah? Maybe this will start to make a little bit of sense. So let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back to where it all started. Now, the general consensus would be that God is, or should we say the Supreme Being, is all-powerful, all-knowing, all-seeing, perfect, does not make mistakes. So, I'm not going to dismiss that at all. I'm going to run with that one, and I want you to bear that in mind. Original source is all-seeing, all-knowing, and is perfect. Doesn't make mistakes. It's important to keep that in mind, because I've mined my mind. See, 2 spellings of the same word yet again. I've mined my mind. I've gone insane. I've gone within myself to find the sanity. Means the opposite. Words are like tarot cards. You can see them from 2 different ways. Either one way up or the other way up. 2 different meanings, the opposite meaning on the other way up. It's the same with words. It is the same with everything in life. It's not just the words, it's the intent you put behind it. The intent. What you put of yourself into that word. So, God. Now this is where I'm going to bring numbers in. Right? Now if one point, you've got 1 point where everything creates from, everything starts from. Within a circle you have 360 points, 360 degrees. Now you can divide that, you can come up with any shape you want from this. Now I was going to tell you something, this is going to be very convoluted and all over the place, but just listen to this, bear with me on this one. And even it's not just words, it's complete sentences as well. You go to court, you could be sentenced, but you form sentences from words. Again, the word sentence, two different meanings for it. Does it lock you into a prison by being sentenced? Are we creating prisons by creating sentences? I think you might be starting to get the picture. Yeah? Picked your. Now this is another clue as to the way the words works. You break the word down, and some of them are the letter, right? Picked, you've picked, you've chosen, you, and then RE on the end, picture. RE is Re or R or Ra. It is a god, a name for a god in Egyptian. The sun god Ra, the sun god Re. It's disguised by these vowels, because the vowels are the fowls, right? It's phonetics. Sound is phonetics. We'll break that word down. Phonetic. Phonetic. So the foe is your enemy. The net is what is used to trap you. But do you see? Phonetic. Or you could have it the other way round. You could have phonetics. The foe, the net, before the parasites. If you look into ancient history, you'll find, particularly with ancient Egypt, there are no vowels. So Ptah, backwards, PTH, is Hotep, another deity, another god name in ancient Egypt. By putting the vowels in, you change things. By reversing the word, takes on something else. And this happens with our language, because we are not, when we speak, we're speaking the language of the dark side. This is not our natural way of communicating by speaking like this. There's some very good sayings about be careful what you say, and you won't get a more truer saying than that if you understand what it really means. Yes, you should be very careful what you say, because silence is golden. Now we go back to the subject of this God, this all-perfect, all-being, supreme being. I would say that everything is mapped out, and you'll see repeat patterns that will come out in numbers as well. To understand God, you need to understand yourself. Because know thyself, because thine is the kingdom. I'll give you another example of this. Now, I'm sure most of you will have heard of the all-seeing eye, and a lot of you, particularly from the truth side, will automatically think about the back of the $1 bill in the United States with the triangle with the eye in it, the all-seeing eye. It's associated with the Illuminati. It is associated with things that are evil. But something you need to consider: darkness cannot create. Creation comes out of light, but even that in itself is an inverse. Because if we go with the biblical story, we've gone with the idea. I've accepted the idea for the purpose of this. You have this all-seeing being who's created everything. Now it says in this Bible that in the beginning God said, "Let there be light." So for there to be light, there had to have been darkness before the light to create the light, the opposite of it. This is the thing with this supreme being. It is everything. It is created everything, good and evil. Its duality is balance. So these are all things just keep in your mind at the moment, and things will start to click together as I bring in more and more pieces to this. I'm having trouble here thinking which way is the best way to take this now, because we can talk about this in so many ways you would not believe. And I don't want you to believe, because in the middle of the word believe is the word lie, which leaves you with be Eve. Do you want to be Eve? You want to bring new life into the world? Well, you can do, anybody can do that. We can all bring new life into the world. It's just what you perceive. What is your perception of life? What is your perception of creation? Is it a physical being of flesh and blood? Or can you create something that is less tangible? Because you can all do it. You create something in your mind. Now, strangely enough, your mind is between these two temples. Between those two temples, which are basically pillars, is your third eye, your all-seeing eye. So now, let me ask you again, is the all-seeing eye evil? See, if you have a supreme being that creates everything, and this is provable with sacred geometry, then it stands to reason that everything from a grain of sand upwards, even something smaller than a grain of sand, if we get into the molecular level of things, if we accept that everything comes from this supreme being and was created from that, then a creator will always put heart and soul into whatever they create. A painter does it, a writer does it. So it stands to reason that a supreme being that created everything will have done the same and put part of this creator's heart and soul into everything. There is a fractal part of source, this creator, this original source in everything and in all of us. Now, straight away, when you perceive things that way, things change completely in your mind. Because if you are, in turn, something that was created by a creator, you will also have some of those abilities within you. Now, where are you going to look for this creator? It's part of it is within you, and that is where you need to look for it. You see, when you create a thought in your mind, the word thought is very interesting, from the Egyptian god of knowledge, Thoth. However, when you create a thought in your mind, you now create it with a sound vibration, which is why you need to go insane and have a sound mind, because you create by vocalizing, by phonetically bringing forth into words your thoughts. Now, depending on what you are saying, you will get a reaction from other people. You create the world around you. Which neatly brings me on to the subject of shapes. The sum of every number in sacred geometry, in shapes and in angles, always comes to 9. 360 degrees, so the 3 and the 6 become 9. Half it, 180 degrees. Yeah, 1 and 8 makes 9. 270 degrees, 2 and 7 makes 9. 45 degrees, 54 degrees, all these angles make the sum of 9. Everything comes from nothing and it goes to 9 in a circle. I'm going to give you some other examples now. But before I do, I'm going to say something to you. And I know how you will respond to that to start with until I have explained. But keep in mind there are two meanings to words. Words are like tarot cards and have two meanings. So I don't want to talk about you. I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to me. I want to talk about me and I want to talk to me. Now, if you look in to the stories of the Anunnaki, me is not the singular. Me, spelt exactly the same way as me when you talk about yourself, is basically like, it's your soul, it's your program, your original program that is placed in these human shells. So that is the me. So when I say I want to talk about me, I want to talk to me, what am I really saying? Because if you say those words in your mind, you also are talking about me, about yourself, because we are a reflection of each other, because we are all part of some original source that created everything. Also brings into the concepts and ask yourself, what is family? Is it the flesh and blood, or is it more? You start seeing things in a very different way, just with this logical sequence, understanding words, understanding numbers. So I'm going to talk about me. I'm going to talk about myself. But when I do, I'm talking about each and every one of you. Because you all have this, it's just I am able to see it maybe slightly ahead of other people. I think slightly differently. So I see things in different ways. So I can tell you. And this is a joke, and it's also not a joke, because it's duality. There's a two for you. I have been called every name under the sun. Is it a joke, or am I telling the truth? I'm just an honest Indian. That's what I am. I'm an honest Indian. And you can question everything I say, and it will stand up to even the closest inspection of it, because it is pure logic. So I am everything and I am nothing. I've been called every name under the sun, because I have been every name under the sun. Sounds logical, doesn't it? I am one. There's the circle around me that I create. The world around me that I create is a circle. So there's your first shape. Now, we run with this idea, so with sacred geometry, 0 to 9, and it goes round and round. Within that circle, you can create any shape. You can have a triangle. There's a 3. You can have a square. There's plenty of examples of 3 within the human body. You have 3 eyes because you have your third eye. You have a third ear. You've got 3 brains, 3 hearts. You've got your brain that everybody accepts as a brain. You have the pineal gland. There's your second brain. You have the heart brain as well. You have 7 chakras, 3 above the heart, 3 below. As above, so below. There's 7. There's also duality. There's 2. There's a centre point, the heart of the matter. See how these words are all starting to make sense when you understand what the words mean. Heart reversed is earth. Words can be read forwards and backwards. In Webster's dictionary, it is lawful and legal by its definition. Define I on. Define it I on. We talk about the word on. That's a very interesting one as well. But I'll come back to that. We can go off at so many different tangents. That is what we need to do. Because if you're going off at different tangents, you will see the whole picture. Because you want to see something, to get to the point of something, the centre point, you need to see things at all angles. So on a daily example, daily 3D example of this, put yourself in somebody else's position. See how you would like it if you were in their position. Look at the descriptions of angels. They are covered in eyes because they see things at all angles. Angles are angels, swapping the letters round. L and the E. L. Big clue there. Have you heard the news? Have you seen the news? North, west, northeast, west and south? That's getting you to look in every direction except where you want to be looking at. If you want to get to the point of something, you want to be looking in the centre and stay in the balance, in the middle. You need to see things at all angles, looking inwards, not looking outwards, because the answers are always within. Yeah, you're not just a flesh and blood being, that's just the outer shell, that's not the real you inside. I don't want to see you. I've already said this. You, E-W-E, it's a sheep. A ewe is a sheep. Are you part of that herd? Or have you heard what I've said? Do you take it on board? Are you a vessel? Are you mostly water? So do you take something on board? All the clues are in these words. So, perfect being doesn't make mistakes. So everything that happens is intended to happen. There's no such thing as a bad experience. They are just experiences. Because 0 to 9, everything is nothing and nothing is everything. It goes round in a circle. Something else I'd like you to understand, and that is pi, and pi in the sky. Let's take the first 3 numbers of pi. 3 represents the female. 4 represents the male. 3, 1, 4. 3 and 4 create 1. It's all pi in the sky, down the religious route. Because don't forget, if everything is reversed, up is down and down is up. That is why you have soles on your feet, but the roots are on your hair. Because everything's upside down. It's inside out. This is the darkness putting the twist on the truth. So, numbers, back to the numbers. So 4, I'm represented by the 4. Well, that's a square. So I want to see things at right angles, 90 degrees. 4 90s, what's that come to? 360. 3 and 6 equals 9. So are you benign or are you innate? Are you innate? Are you still? Are you calm? Are you being rocked by emotions? Are you staying on the path? Are you on the right side of God? You don't want to be on his wrong side. You want to take the right path. You want to stay focused and stay in the middle, but you want to take the right path. It's in your right palm. It is all the lines. It tells your story, individual to you. Same as your name. Your names you've got are not coincidental, because they can be broken down and you can read them. A lot of them are anagrams. But what are names really? That's just applied to the shell. That still doesn't tell me the name of the soul inside. Because how can all these souls really have names? Because we're all part of an original source. We've all come from source, we'll all go back to source. We will complete this cycle. It's when you reach the next level of understanding, then you progress. This is what some of the religions teach. You reincarnate, incarnate into another body, and you're getting closer and closer back to original source. I can't tell you what the purpose of original source is. All I can explain to you is what original source has done, and that has created. In turn, we create by the words we create and the sounds we form, because things are created from the shape of sounds. I can spell this out to you. I can write the rights. I can write this down because it will be right. There's so many examples with these words, as long as you understand and you see how to read them. Now these videos, overall, whatever I say, and this applies always with everything, you can choose, you have the power to choose whether to accept or reject anything. Never forget that. It doesn't matter what anything is, whether everything started from a big bang or whether you want to put a personification onto original source and dress it up in a human shell because it is more acceptable in your mind that way. That's something you've created in your mind. That's the truth to you. It may not be the truth to somebody else. They might see it in a different way. But the point is, it all comes from somewhere, from a singular source. So we are all part of that. So why are we fighting each other? We're all somebody's sons, we're all somebody's daughters. So why are we looking at each other down the barrel of a gun? You answer that. Why are we fighting each other? I can tell you why, because there is a control system that is keeping us doing that. Like I said, everything is a lie, even our history. It is not what you think. That is a topic all for itself, and there are plenty of other people who are tackling that side of things. I will possibly do a video on that, but can I really say anything more than anybody else is saying? This isn't about me, as in the old way of looking at the word me, but it is about me when you consider that everybody is me. I can even say I'm lucid fire. If you understand the elemental aspects to all this, because I'm represented in the male form by 4, I have 4 sides. I have 4 elements. But how many points are there on a square? Most of you are going to say 4. There's not, there's 5, because you've missed the centre point. That is the point of everything. No matter what the shape, you're 1 degree out. If you're seeing a triangle as 3 points, you're 1 degree out, it's 4. 3.14, there you go, bang. See how all these things link together? Now, phonetics, phony Phoenician phonetics from Phoenicia. History has been changed. Everything has been flipped over. You've been told, you've been lied to continuously. And this goes back to what I said earlier on in this video. Know thyself, because thine is the kingdom. Are you going to build castles in the sky? Because I'm asking why. Why are you trying to reach pie in the sky, something you cannot achieve? Because up is down and down is up. You're going the wrong way. You're going the wrong way about things by doing that. It's within you. Within each of us. You can you create from within, but you have to go inside yourself to find it as well. All I can do is guide you. That's saying you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. That still means you have the choice. That horse has the choice whether to drink or not. But at least you've shown the way. It's as simple as that, really. At the end of the day, you have the choice. I'm going to be going on a Bible study course at the end of this month. That could be very interesting. See, the way to do things, you reflect back. You want to see a reflection of yourself in somebody else. Equally, you reflect back what they want to see. When we can get this all together, and we're all reflecting, and we're singing a chorus, a core of us, that's when we change this world. You don't need any outside help for this. It's coming. There's a whole new level to this. It's not all in 3-dimension. There's a war going on right now. It's not been fought in the 3-dimensional sense. Okay, there's playouts, there's various theatres of war because the world is a stage. Do you want to be a star on this stage? Again, you have the choice. By doing nothing, you are consenting. You are happy with this system. You are happy with being enslaved into this debt. Let's talk about 5G, how that fits into this. People are going to get sick. Again, people have the choice. You can listen to what's being said. You can look. You can do your own research. You can listen to what people who've already done the research has found, and save yourself a lot of time, because time is your currency. I know how I spend my time. I could be sitting in the pub drinking alcohol. I could be watching a football match on Sky TV. That's not how I'm spending my time. I'm freely giving and guiding as I see best, because I see a real problem in this world. I'm not spending my time doing something that I don't want to do. I'm spending time on doing something that I see as very important. I'm not the only one. There's plenty of people out there who are telling the truth. There's what is known as a truth seeker movement. But you notice it's not organised. It's not a hierarchical thing with something at the top. It's all working together with this truth movement. No matter when you're looking into UFOs, looking into pyramids, ancient history, ancient civilizations, mud floods, whether you're looking at the more recent aspects, the sinister side, the Pizzagate, the paedophilia, the corruption in government, you name it, there is so many, 5G, smart meters, any of these things, chemtrails, HAARP, CERN, what's going on there, all these things, the Antarctica, what's there, the Arctic, what's there. There is plenty to be looking at. There's plenty you can actually do. And a big clue you will find if you want to find the answer to everything, you have to have an understanding. You have to build on a solid foundation to start with. One of the ways, one of the keys that I'm giving you to this is to study and look into words and understand it's not coincidence that words have two meanings. And sometimes those letters can be reversed. Now, hallowed be thy name, they say about God. Well, let's look at hallow. All owed. Are you going to be held in debt because you're all owed? How you spend your time is up to you. You have that choice of how you're going to proceed. Proceed. Procreate and seed. There's a sexual reference in it, but there's far more to it, isn't there, with that word? Because a man can create the same as a woman, from the mind. And you create through vocalization. It depends how the other person understands what you're saying. You have to choose your words carefully. Sometimes you have to explain them. And that's why I say, I don't want to talk to you, I want to talk to me. You say that in your mind and see how that perception now changes. Just say to yourself in your mind, I want to talk about me. I want to talk to me. Because that means I'm a reflection of you and you are a reflection of me. This is just one of many keys. This world, another word, of days, weakened, we find ourselves in, and we are in, we're not on, we are in this world. Well, I want to be innate. I want to be still. I don't want to be rocked by emotions. I want to see the point of everything. When you see the point of something, that's where you can get to the point of the matter. But we're far more than matter, aren't we? I think, we've gone for 35 minutes now. I think that's quite a lot to think about. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you.